Hello, my name is Thomas Myers. For my geology project, I chose to discuss the 1889 South Fork Dam disaster in Johnston, Pennsylvania. In the early 1800s, the town of Johnston was growing rapidly due to increased railroad production across the United States. As the town grew, people recognized the need to control the flooding that came from Lake Conemaugh, a large lake that overlooked the city about 4 miles away. It was ultimately decided that building a dam next to this lake would be the best course of action to regulate the water flow. Construction of the dam started in 1838 and took 15 years to complete. Civil engineer Sylvester Welch made the initial plans to construct the dam, and then civil engineer William Morris took these plans, along with geotechnical data he and other laborers gathered at the site. Both Morris and Welch knew that they were building a dam in a high-risk flood zone, but if proper discharge channels, like the one seen at Point 2, were built and maintained, they knew that it would totally be okay. So the dam was operational by 1853, and by the early 1860s, problems would already be noticed. The outlet pipes within the dam, the pipes that control the water regulation, weren't being given proper maintenance and slowly were breaking down. On top of that, thieves would scrape the lead that were on the seals of these pipes to sell. In mid-1862, these problems accumulated and there was a minor breach in the dam, which thankfully only destroyed a few small buildings, as only a small amount of water in the middle of the dam actually escaped. But unfortunately, this breach was not heavily paid attention to, as of course the Civil War was happening at this time. So to repair this breach, many random materials were added to the dam, including highly plastic clay and animal manure. These materials are extremely weak and settle far too easily, and the animal manure will simply just decompose over time. This poor filling created a spot of weakness right in the middle of the dam. By 1889, the dam and the outlet pipes within it had weakened so much that the lake's water levels were actually rising. The dam could not regulate the flooding that was occurring at the lake. On the night of May 30th, 1989, a large storm swept over the area of Johnston, Pennsylvania. In the early mornings of May 31st, some parts of downtown Johnston were 10 feet underwater. However, this initial flooding was nothing compared to the disaster that was going to happen later in the day. Up at the South Fork Dam, again only about 4 miles from the town of Johnston, the condition of the dam was critical. Although the rain had subsided by that early afternoon, Lake Conemaugh was rising at about 10 inches per hour from the many flowing streams into the lake. The South Fork Dam was in no condition to regulate this intense flooding. The center of the dam that had been poorly infilled just a few decades ago was especially a very weak spot. So the center began sagging drastically from the extremely poor filling, and it made the top of the dam start looking like a V. And an overflow from the Conemaugh River began rushing over the dam, and just over an hour later, the dam completely collapsed, as this rushing water over the dam extremely compromises the structural integrity of the dam. Most of the city was destroyed, and unfortunately over 2,200 people died. It would take almost 50 years and several more major floods before any proper mitigation work was done in the city of Johnston. Large concrete walls, like the one seen in this picture, were constructed on the sides of the Conemaugh River that ran through downtown Johnston. This has been very effective in keeping the town safe from flooding. The dam was never rebuilt. Today there exists a memorial where the dam once stood. Thank you.